You got all these books. You got all these answers. Where were you when we were up in all these churches? Now, I'm taking that, I'm not taking that in the sense of him saying, well, when we were going into your churches, because they'll go into churches and disrupt services and stuff like the GMS people will, and all that kind of stuff. That's not how I'm understanding it. I interpreted that as, before we heard the truth and became Hebrew Israelites, how come you weren't telling the things you're telling now then? And I'm like, I don't know who this is. He never shows his face. But in all probability, my son is older than him. So one of the complaints that some people have, and I take it as a compliment, is I'm talking about the same things now that I was talking about 25, 30 years ago. This ministry's been around over 30 years. And so, coming up, I think, 33. And so, I have been talking about these things. Many others have been talking about this. This information was available, but what struck me was, there is, in a sense, and oh boy, am I going to get in trouble for this. Here we go. In many churches of whatever ethnic mix, there is an anti-intellectualism, an anti-church historyism, there is an anti-theologyism, there is an anti-Bible translation, Bible transmissionism, and it's seen in the fact that it's almost never addressed, almost never talked about. But it's especially true in black churches. It's just a reality. The idea of sound doctrine, church history, there are so few where there is an emphasis. They're out there, thanks be for them, but they will be the first ones to tell you that they are in the minority, and it's a constant battle for them to try to communicate to their people the necessity of knowing these things and getting over all the social, cultural stuff and focusing upon the truth. And cults, it's been said, I don't know who came up with this first. I certainly didn't come up with it. But it's a true statement. Cults are the unpaid debts of the church. When the church will not be balanced, when the church will not do what is necessary to disciple and ground and grow the saints, the cults become the unpaid debt of the church. And when I heard this man saying these things, where were you? Well, I've been around, but I'm nobody. There were lots of people. I haven't said anything that is outrageously unusual or anything like that. I've just simply been responding to some pretty amazingly facile, shallow arguments that really can't stand up to examination. And there are lots of people who could have given you those answers. You're saying, where were they? Well, they were there. Did you go looking for them? Would you have even accepted those answers from someone that looks not like that, since I don't have horns, but looks like me? But there was a implicit statement in those words that really caught my attention. And it's not fair to make the accusation was made, but at the same time, the cults are the unpaid debt of the church. And if we will not do what's necessary to explain to our people, this is why we're talking about this subject. This is why we need to talk about that. This is why you need to be grounded in this area. Well, you're helping to make those folks cult fodder. And once they're there, they may be very, very, very difficult to reach. So, yeah, that's quite the interesting picture. But like I said, I couldn't even play this whole thing for you because it's just inappropriate. It really is. So there you go. There's a couple of those. Real quickly, as we only have a few minutes left on the program, just a quick shift. I haven't seen it posted yet. I'll try to post it somewhere. But last evening at PRBC, I have the next couple of weeks preaching, and I'm going to be going through the blessings and cursings section in Deuteronomy 27 and 28. And I don't have time to develop it right now. I will at some point spend enough time on the program that we can at least link folks to it, because I think it's very important, especially dealing with Deuteronomy 28:68 and the central place that has in Hebrew Israelite interpretation. But last evening, on Wednesday evening, this is the week, if you're watching this at a later point, this is the week of the Democratic National Convention. I don't even know what to say concerning the fact that a national, one of the two political parties in our nation, what I have seen this week, what I've heard this week, I really do believe that the appropriate name for this party is the Socialist Party. It is so very plain and so very clear that socialism is obviously a matter of tremendous ignorance amongst the young people in our nation. They don't realize the dangers of socialism and the destructive nature of socialism, especially to personal liberties and freedoms. The rise of totalitarianism, the speed with which it's happening is shocking. I was thinking about that, and last evening, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, don't have time to, but I do want to look and see if we've already posted. If not, I can get it posted. Some comments that I made from Psalm 2, the second Psalm. I can't think of another text that is more explicit in revealing God's